Okay, so you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas, but let's face it, Dallas is a huge city. And in this video, we're going to do a very extensive map tour. We're going to talk about the highway systems. We're going to go through some of the communities in the suburbs, where they're located, and give you a little idea about what they're like. We're even going to talk about some of the communities that we have visited and done some of our vlog tours on. Because let's face it, when you're moving to Dallas, you don't really know where you need to be or want to be based upon what's important to you. What's your lifestyle like? What are your schools like? And so the last thing you want is to move into the wrong area. So that's why we're going to give you the most extensive tour of the Dallas area so you will have an idea of what it looks like. All right. So if you are thinking about moving to Dallas, make sure that you drop a comment and let us know what you think about the map tour. Let us know what you're looking for so we can help you find the perfect area for Dallas. So let's get ahead and get after it right now. Okay, so we've got Dallas pulled up on the map. And there's several freeways, several highways that go around the Dallas area. So I'm going to start kind of looking at going north to south. And Dallas can be a little confusing because sometimes they have multiple names for different freeways. But if you're looking at splitting Dallas almost in half, heading north, you've got 75. And when you get into the Dallas area, we actually call this Central Expressway. And that will take you all the way up to the McKinney area. It will take you up to Salina. It will take you into Prosper. You go through Plano, Richardson, and then you come into Dallas. And this will actually take you directly through the downtown Dallas area. Once you get into the downtown area and just past downtown, it changes to 45. And so we call this Interstate 45. I-45 does take you all the way straight into the Houston area. So as you can see, that pretty much cuts us right in the middle for north to south. Now, if we're looking from east to west, you've got I-30. Now, I-30 does go directly through the downtown corridor as well. Well, really, I-30 goes out all the way to up into the Arkansas area, but it kind of starts heading a little north once you get past Dallas. So it will take you through Rockwall, takes you through Garland, you get into Dallas, and then we've got come right into the downtown Dallas area. And then 30 will take you straight all the way west into Fort Worth and out past into close to the Weatherford area. So now we've got our quadrants of the Dallas area. Now, there's some other main thoroughfares, main freeways that you also need to know. We're going to start really kind of closer in, and we've got the 635 loop. So this 635 makes a loop around the north part of Dallas. It comes around Garland through Mesquite. Now, once you hit I-75 or 175, which is known as the Julius Sheps Freeway, it actually turns into I-20, and that will take you on the south side of the Dallas area, and it will take you right into the south side of Fort Worth. Now, it will not loop 100% around the Dallas area, but there's other ways that you're going to be able to loop around as well that we'll take a look at here in just a second. But we've also got a couple of other major freeways that are going through the area as well. Now, on the west side of Dallas, we have I-30 or I-35. I-35 will take you north up into the Denton, Sanger area. You go through Louisville, which Louisville's got a great lake up there, and it will come down. And here's the interesting thing. 35 35 actually on the south side of Dallas splits. So if you were looking at coming from, say, San Antonio, and you're going to come up 35, so you're going to come from Austin, San Antonio, in that area, 35 actually splits. I-35 West will take you directly into the Fort Worth area. I-35 East will take you into the Dallas area through downtown Dallas, and then it will take you around up into Denton. Now, if you're on the Fort Worth side, it will continue through Fort Worth and it connects back up in Denton, and then it will head north. Once again, taking you up into the Oklahoma area. Okay, let's scoot back in closer into Dallas because we've got some other freeways that are really important that you really need to know. So one of them is what we call the George Bush Toll Road. And that is this outer loop here. And it connects I-30 in the Rockwall area. And it goes all the way around Dallas through Garland, Plano. It takes you over to the Carrollton area. And then you can actually hook onto 635 if you're wanting to go to the airport, or you can hook into 121, which takes you into Coppell. Now, this is a toll road. And so you can see it takes you right here to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. Now, that's the way I would typically go to the airport because I'm coming out from the east side of Dallas, and that allows me to miss all of the traffic on 635. There's also a lot of construction going on 635 because they're widening it. And it just, you can go 80 miles an hour. Well, actually 70 is the speed limit, but you pretty much are going to go 80 miles an hour. So a lot of people will take the President George Bush Freeway, or 190 as we like to call it. All right. Now you also, let's take a look here, coming through the downtown Dallas area. So when you're coming through the downtown area, this right here, coming through 30, it gets really backed up. It gets really congested because you've got people coming in 45, changing into 75, heading north. You've got people coming in from the Oak Cliff area, which is a cool little area. They've got it's a really older part of the Dallas area, but they've got the Bishop Arts District, which has just got this really cool, eclectic, artsy vibe. So this gets really congested. A lot of times what you can do, instead of coming through the downtown area and hooking onto 35 heading north, you can actually take 75, and this will hook onto spur 366. Now, we also call that the Woodall Rogers Freeway. And so it cuts you through the downtown area. And as a matter of fact, Clyde Warren Park, which we've talked about, is right here in this area. That is a really cool park that is over the Woodall Rogers Freeway. They've got food trucks. It's really close to the Arts District. So just a really, really neat area. But Woodall Rogers, or Spur 366, as its official name, will cut you through the downtown area. All right, so let's talk about some things that we have going on up north, because we've already talked about, we've got 635, but if we go even further north, once again, we have the George Bush Freeway, but we also have another toll road that is going to hook you in through like the Louisville area. It will take you all the way up here to 380, which we'll talk about in just a second. But this is the Sam Rayburn Toll Road. So you go right here through here, and you can actually cut over to 35. You can cut 75, And then you also have the Dallas North Toll Road, which will take you all the way from downtown Dallas up into the Frisco area. So you've got the Frisco, Prosper, Salina area. So if you've got the Dallas North Toll Road, it comes just like this from downtown Dallas all the way up. So as you can see, there's a lot of different freeways, a lot of different ways to get around. Then we also have Cumming, and it's really not on the map right now, but we've got what is called the outer loop. And that outer loop is going to really take you, say, from kind of this area right in here, and it's going to actually loop around the outer part. Now, the cool thing about this is we really do get a lot of traffic, a lot of congestions, a lot of the 18-wheelers that come through this area, and it creates traffic problems. This is going to give them a way that will allow them to come all the way over here and then hook in and take away, hopefully, some of this traffic that is going through the downtown and the Dallas and the Fort Worth area. Now, another main road that is getting really popular is what we call 380. Now, 380 will take you really all the way from Sulphur Springs, which is far east of Dallas, through Greenville. It comes straight through McKinney. You go through Prosper, and then you go to Denton. All right. So it all really is depending upon what areas of town you're living in, what sections of town you're living in, as to, where you work. And then obviously school districts are going to be really important. So what I want to do is we're going to come back into our quadrants, and we're going to kind of look at it like this. Okay. So now we've got the 30. Now, this area up in the McKinney, the Anna, that's going to be considered east of 75. You've got Prosper, Frisco, Salina. This is all going to be west of 75. And then you've got the areas that are going to be on the southeast quadrant. And that's going to include things like Rockwall, Forney. You've got Mesquite that's down in this area right here, and then heading down even further south. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the areas that we've actually gone through and we've talked about. Some of the places that are really becoming popular, where people are moving to. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, obviously Frisco has been a very popular area, and you can see Frisco really, I'm going to see if we can let's do this real quick. Okay. So as you can see, Frisco is right here, and it really is kind of split by the North Dallas Toll Road. Now, there's a lot of construction, and there's a lot of new housing developments that have been going on over in this area, and the fact that they've got highly rated school district. Now, I'm going to give you the ratings that are on niche.com for some of these areas, these communities, these different subdivisions and suburb areas. Now, here's the thing, okay? I can't steer you in any way. So I'm just going to give you the information that is on niche.com. I understand how important schools are and school districts are. I was a former educator for 16 years, so I understand the importance, number one, of making sure that your kids are getting into good schools. But I also know that sometimes these ratings can be a little skewed. So I think it's always really important, not only do your research, but also take a look at the actual school that you would be attending, that your house or your home, the area is zoned for. Because literally you can have, for example, Dallas. Dallas has 240 schools within Dallas proper. Now, the Dallas Independent School District gets an overall rating of B. And you take a look at that, and there are going to be some schools that are top performing schools, and then there's going to be some schools that are not. So I always encourage you not only to take a look at the school district rating, but also take a look at the ratings of the individual schools. But more importantly, call the schools, talk to the administrators, talk to them about what programs that they offer, and find out if it's going to be a right fit for you, for your children, and if that's an area that you want to live in. So we know Frisco ISD is a highly sought after school district, and I want to make sure I get all of my ratings here right, so I don't give you a wrong rating. But Frisco has got an A+ rating, and so that is one of the reasons why it is very, very popular. And so when we take a look at the Frisco area, you've got a ton of housing communities that are really popular. You've got the Dominion at Panther Creek, the Villages at Stone Lake. We've got Starwood. That is an area that's a really cool little area. When we get in a little bit closer, you can see they've got a lot of hotels. There are hospitals that are relatively close, and they've got a lot of parks that are going to be in the area as well. Hey, here's a Costco, one of my favorite places to go shopping. So you've got really all of the restaurants, all of the shopping that you want right there in Frisco. Now, if you were living in Frisco and you were wanting to work in the downtown Dallas area, you would take this North Dallas Toll Road, which right down here, and take that into the Dallas area. That could be a 45, 55-minute drive or even an hour or longer. But if you weren't looking to work in the downtown Dallas area, you were wanting to work in Plano or even over in the McKinney area, as you can see, it would be a great location with great schools. Some of the other areas, let's talk about here, we've got Richardson. So Richardson is an older community. We really don't see any new development going in that area. But this is what we call the telecom corridor. So there's a lot of the telecommunications companies that are located in that area. And you've got the older, more established homes. But once again, Richardson is a very popular area because they've got fantastic schools. They've got an A- rating for their schools. And it's very convenient to get into the Dallas area. There is shopping, there are restaurants, there are all sorts of entertainment options in the area. So Richardson is a great location if you were looking for a more established neighborhood. It's funny, when I moved back to the Dallas area, after I'd been gone several years, I'd lived in Houston, and I remember coming back and I was working with a realtor. And the first thing I told her was, well, actually, there's two things that were really important because, Dallas has wet areas and dry areas. And so I said, there's two things that are really important for me. Number one, I don't want you to find me a home that's got a stick in the front yard and call that a tree. I want really big, mature trees because that's what I grew up with. I grew up in the Oak Cliff area, and we had big, huge, massive trees, oak trees, and they were gorgeous and they were great for climbing. So I wanted a big, huge tree in the front yard. And she absolutely nailed it with that because I couldn't even wrap my arms around the entire tree. But then I also told her, because when I lived in Houston, there's no wet, dry areas. I mean, you go to the corner store, you can get your beer, you get your wine, and then the liquor stores are all over the place. So I told her, I said, I wanted to be within 5 to 10 minutes of the liquor store because I remember growing up when we lived in Oak Cliff was dry. So you couldn't get any alcohol, any liquor, any beer, anything. So we lived in Oak Cliff really kind of right around this area right in here. So I remember my dad would have to go, and he'd have to go into downtown Dallas in order to go to the liquor store, even just to get a 6-pack of beer or get some wine. So I told her, I said, I want to be within 5 to 10 minutes of the liquor store. Those were my priorities at the time. And Richardson was a great community for that. We also have Garland. Garland is located right here, and Garland is very easily accessible to 635. You also have the President George Bush Freeway that goes around Garland. Right here, you've got 635. And we've actually looked at a couple of communities over in the Garland area. Now, Garland, once again, is also more established. You don't have a lot of the new build communities going on in Garland. They're older homes, it's more established, but you also have much larger yards. You've got mature trees. Garland schools are rated an A-. Now, here's the thing about Garland Independent School District. You have choice of school. So you can actually choose a school that is outside of your neighborhood school. So for example, let's say you live in the Rowlett area, but you live kind of in this area. Now, Rowlett doesn't have their own school district. They are a part of Garland ISD. So you've got Rowlett High School that is located right around here, but you also have Saxe High School, which is here. So you could actually, if you're zoned for Rowlett High School, you could choose to, if you wanted to, instead to go to Saxe High School. As long as they have the available spaces, then you can go and your students, your children can go to a different school that is outside of the neighborhood school. Now, the downside to that is typically you don't have transportation to the school if you're going out of your zoned area. All right, so now we're going to continue to work a little north. We've also got Plano. We've done some videos over in the Plano area. And Plano is, once again, a more established area. There's not any really new construction that's going on in the Plano area. But Plano is another fabulous location simply because it's very easy to get into the Dallas area. You've got everything you need. You have all of the shopping, all of the entertainment. You have all of the restaurants that you could possibly want. It's easily accessible because you've got George Bush right here. Getting to the airport is so easy from Plano. And then you've got 75 that will take you into the downtown Dallas area. Plano is also a really popular area for the school district because they have one of the highly A-rated school districts in the area as well. So if you're looking for more established neighborhoods, if you're looking for school districts that are, the top-rated good school districts, if you're looking for bigger yards, and typically these are going to be more the ranch-style homes, then your Plano, Richardson, and Garland areas are going to be certainly good options for you because it is going to be closer into the Dallas area. All right. Now we're going to talk about some of the areas that we've talked about going east. And first of all, the first one we're going to talk about is Rockwall. So Rockwall is right here. Now, Rockwall has got, once again, according to niche.com, a highly rated A school district. They have some new builds, some pre-existing homes, some of the older homes, and it is right on the lake. If we were to scroll in, there's an area that is right here, and this is what we call the harbor area. So you've got the harbor area that is right here where there are restaurants, there's the entertainment complex, and they do concerts on the lake. They've done all sorts they had ice skating in the winter, skate the lake. So your harbor area is going to be one of the larger entertainment districts in the area. When we're looking at the new construction in the Rockwall area, most of that is going to be in this northern part of the Rockwall area because, as you can see, there's a lot of green spaces through here. We've done series over on Nelson Lake, which is kind of right in this area. You've got Breezy Hill. You've got Quail Run. So there's a lot of different new build communities that are going in here in the Rockwall area. Now, Rockwall is going to be a little bit more expensive than if we were to look even a little further east. But if you're looking to stay in closer to the Dallas area and you're still wanting to look at some of the new construction communities, but you like that lake life living, you like that small community, small town feel, but that it's not so small that you don't have things to do, Rockwall may be a very good option. Now, another area that we've talked about going east is Fate. Now, this is obviously the area that I live in. I moved out here 17 years ago. I love Fate. And I moved out here because I was looking to get away from the hustle and bustle of the Dallas area. I wanted a little bit slower lifestyle, but I also wanted to be close and convenient to getting into Dallas. I wanted to have an opportunity to still be able to go into like concerts, into some of the restaurants, but on a day-to-day basis, I wanted to get out a little bit into the community. And we've got some new construction that is going on. We've got right here on 66. 66 cuts through, it comes all the way from Rockwall and it cuts through Fate and it goes to Royce City. Now, right here in this area, we've got Avondale that we've done some homes over there. You've got Montera that are over in this area. Just on, this is considered, this whole area right here is Wood Creek. And then on the other side of the of 30 is Williamsburg. You've got Edgewater. So there's a lot of development that's coming out here. And, the home prices really are more affordable for some people. You get a little more bang for your buck. And this whole area is growing. We actually have a grocery store now. We've got Fresh by Brookshire's. We've got a liquor store right here. So when it snows and ices, you can still get to the liquor store. So there are definitely things that are coming out here in Rockwall right off of John King. There's going to be a new HEB that is, or they've already started construction on it. And if you don't know about HEB, it is a Texas thing, but it is one of the best grocery stores, in my personal opinion. Now, once we go a little bit further east, we've got Royce City. And this really is a small town that has kept that small town charm, but it is growing exponentially. So Royce City has a real quaint, historic downtown area on Main Street. It's funny because when you look at it, maybe some of the shops have changed, but the whole facade, that whole area right here on Main Street has not changed for years. Now, you do have your shopping because you've got your Walmart Supercenter here. You've got your Tractor Supply. See, you're getting out in the country when you have a Tractor Supply. And they've got a lot of the development that is actually going in right here. We've got Creekshaw. You've got Stone River Golf Club. You've got the Stone River neighborhood. And then on the north side, you've got more construction that is coming out into this area as well. And one of my favorite places, you've got Dallas Karting Complexes. Now, that is technically over in Caddo Mills, and we're going to be doing a video on Caddo Mills coming up here soon. But Dallas Karting Complex is a fun place. So they've got go-karts that will go 70, 80 miles an hour. We've spent a lot of time out there. As a matter of fact, My nephew used to race karts, and he actually was on the Dallas Karting Complex, DKC's race team. So if you've got kids that are really into karting, that is a really fun place to go. It's a really cool area. But if you're really looking for a much slower lifestyle, if you are not concerned about having the clubs or having the fine dining or having all of the entertainment, Royce City may be a good option for you because they don't, well, there's some really good restaurants in the area. If you're looking to go to the movies, or if you're looking to go into like the arts and go to concerts and things like that, Royce City is not going to be a good option for you because it is out there. Now, I will tell you, you can GPS and you can say, okay, from Royce City to downtown Dallas is going to be 45, 50 minutes. That's a lie. I'm just going to tell you right now, because they've got so much construction that is going on all the way down 30 until really you almost get into 635, because they're widening it, which is going to be great. But right now it's a real pain in the what, because it really does slow down congestion. And if there's a wreck on this bridge right here, so you've got the bridge that goes over here and then the bridge right here. If you have a wreck on the bridge, either going in or out of the area, you're going to be stuck for a while because there's just no way to get on or off. And so just know that if you were working in the Dallas area, you're going to have a heck of a commute getting into town. All right. We've also talked about Wiley. So you've got Wiley that is located right up here. Here's Levon. And we've talked about both of these areas. There's a lot of new construction that is going on in that area. Wiley is also known for its highly rated school district. And then Levon, which is a little further out, is really starting to be the area that we're seeing to really grow, to really pop, because for a long time, it was really just a small podunk town. And there was nothing out there, okay? And there's still not a whole lot out there as far as your shopping and your restaurants. However, they've got some really amazing communities that we have visited. And the fact that depending upon where in Levon you are, and depending upon, like we did, I believe it was Hillstead, and they are actually zoned for Wiley ISD. So it's real important because some of the communities will be zoned for Wiley ISD, and then some of them will be zoned for Community ISD. And Community ISD is a really, really small school district that serves the Nevada and the Josephine areas. And so they really are starting to step up their game because of all of the people that are moving out there. Okay, now we're heading a little further north again, and we've got the McKinney area. Now, McKinney, while they do have some of the new construction that's going on in the area, McKinney's been around for quite some time. And McKinney actually is pretty developed and pretty well right all in through this area. Now, you've got a lot of parks, you have golf, you've got all the shopping that you would want. But we just didn't see a lot of development that was going on in the McKinney area right here, because that part had already really grown. Where we are seeing some more of the development going on for McKinney, and we're seeing a lot of new communities that are coming up into this area. And so what you're seeing is that they're heading a little bit further north, and depending upon where it's located, you may have some of the communities that are going to be zoned for Prosper ISD, which once again is one of the highly rated school districts in our area, or they are going to be rated for McKinney ISD. And once again, both of those are A-rated school districts. So you really can't go wrong no matter what part of the McKinney area. It's funny because I've lived in this area for a long time, and the most of the McKinney area that I have spent time in and gone to, was over in this area. And McKinney has got this really cool little historic downtown area. It's got some of the coolest vibes, shops, art galleries, boutiques. It's really a lot of fun. And so that's really what I knew it for. That was what I actually went up into the McKinney area for that. And then they also have, some of the premium outlet malls that are right here. What I didn't realize was how much this area actually was starting to grow and develop, because for so long, it really was just country. I mean, you would drive along the country roads and all you would see is pastures and fields, and you still get that and you still see that. But what you do see is that you're starting to get some of the development up there. So, I mean, people are going to say, well, that's going to ruin that area because now we're taking away all of the pasturing area. I don't know how much is going to be developed up there, but it was a really cool area because you did get a sense of still being out in the country. However, you were starting to see some of the really nice master plan subdivisions that are coming up in that area. All right, now we're going to talk about down in the southern kind of portion of the Dallas area. Now, one of the areas that we're seeing that has really grown exponentially and is very popular is Forney. So Forney is going to be located, it's really kind of due east of the Dallas area. Now, the problem with Forney is there really is one way out, and that's Highway 80, which will take you through Terrell. And then Highway 80, actually, can connect right here to 20, which will take you straight into Louisiana. Now, Forney has got a lot of development and a lot of the subdivisions that are going in. We're going to come in a little bit closer. We have done some of our communities that were over. We've got the Devonshire area that was kind of going to be, right in this area. You've got Gateway Parks that was located over in here. You've got Fox Hollow over in here. So there are a lot of newer master plan communities that are coming out into the area. And Forney does still tend to keep some of the small town feel. But here's what I will tell you, okay? There are areas of Forney that the traffic is absolutely horrendous. There are, and I'm going to try to see, you've got your Brookshires right here. So if you're coming down 80, this area right here from Clements to Pinson and coming in will just absolutely be a parking lot. It can drive you crazy. Right now, I don't know of any plans that are to widen 80. However, I'm sure they're going to have to. But the problem is, and a lot of people would say, well, why isn't the infrastructure there? Well, the infrastructure isn't there because they don't really know where people are going to be moving. So people have to move into an area for them to determine what the infrastructure really needs to be. And so this is it. You get bottlenecked pretty bad. And then this is going to be another really busy area where you're going to head and get a lot of traffic because you've got your Kroger, you've got your Walmart Supercenter, you've got a bunch of different restaurants. So this area does get backed up. And then if you were looking to head out, you get to the high school this way. And so this is the area that really gets bottled up. Okay, couple of other areas that I just wanted to talk about that sometimes might not be on your person's radar. And that's going to be, we've done a couple of videos on Mesquite. So Mesquite is located right here. And actually Mesquite's going to be kind of this area right in here. And so Mesquite, for the most part, is going to be older, established neighborhoods. Now, what we did is we did a video on a community called Solterra. And I'm going to see if I can find it on the map here real quick, because that is a really cool community that is going in. It is a master plan community. Okay, here we go. So Solterra is going to be located right in this area. They have the most amazing amenity center that I've ever seen, which is going to include a beer garden. They have got walking trails. They've got parks throughout the entire community. So you've got one of the elementary schools that's right there on site. It's very close to one of the high schools in Mesquite. And then it is also very convenient to get to 635, or you could even take 175 that will take you right into the downtown Dallas area. So while there isn't a whole lot of new development going on in the Mesquite area, as you start getting a little bit further east in the Mesquite area, you will see some new communities that are popping up that are actually becoming very, very popular, because the prices are really what I would consider anywhere from the upper threes, I think is what we saw, and that'll go up to 5, 6, 700,000. But it also has all of the conveniences of being closer in. Typically, the closer you get into Dallas, the more expensive it's going to be. And so if you're looking about reasonable, lower, affordable homes, you're going to have to go out further. And typically, when we're looking at this, you're going to be looking at the areas that are going to be further east of the Dallas versus the north part of Dallas. You've got Prosper, you've got Salina. I mean, I'm telling you, Salina and Prosper are very, very hot areas that a lot of younger families are moving to, simply because they do have such amazing amenities in their communities, the fantastic school systems. However, if you're looking at moving into that area, but you're looking at working into the downtown Dallas area, I mean, it's going to be a really long commute. So you would want to make sure that if you're thinking about moving into these areas, that you would want to really look at, unless you didn't mind a 2-hour commute, looking at the Plano, Frisco, McKinney, even Denton would be easy to get into, because you've got 380 coming straight from the Prosper area. Okay, so we've gone over a lot of information about Dallas, where things are located. The last thing you want to do is, when you're relocating to Dallas, and move to an area that just doesn't fit with your lifestyle, that doesn't fit with the amenities that you're looking for. And there's so many other little areas that we didn't even go through. Some of these towns that you may have never even heard of, but it might be a right fit for you. And that's why it's going to be really important for you guys to give us a call. Let's get on a call and talk about, what are the things that are important to you? What is it that you are looking for in your lifestyle, in schools, homes? Because we're going to be able to tell you some of the communities that we think are going to be a great fit, but more importantly, we're going to be able to tell you which ones are not going to be a good fit. Okay, guys, go ahead and drop a comment and let us know what you think about this. We went through a lot of information, and we're going to continue to drop in these map videos on specific areas and neighborhoods, so you can get even a more detailed idea of what living in that community is actually like. And as always, hopefully we will see you guys around the town.